welcome to Walk the Talk with Bulbeer. Today I have this lovely, fun couple with me, Vishakha and Muninder Chowdhary. They are the founders and principal architects at S.Alt Studio. Hi Vishakha, hi Muninder.
Hi.
Welcome to
Hi,
Walk the
Bulbeer.
Talk.
Thank
Hi,
you so
Buddy.
much.
We are so excited to be here.
Thank you.
Finally.
That's so kind. I know. It's been a long wait,
Yes.
and I'm so happy that we're finally, meeting and doing this together. So, without further delay, I want to hear a few things about y'all. I mean, you as a couple, y'all look beautiful together. Touch wood. I mean, y'all are so fun to be around with. I mean, I'm so excited to interview y'all today. So,
I think we can say the same about you. From the first day that we met you, we hit it off.
yeah, I
And
know.
I think we could communicate and chat very easily and
Yeah.
effortlessly. So
Thank you.
likewise.
That's so sweet. So tell me something. Who has been your role model or played an important role in your decision professionally?
I think
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
I really love that.
yeah, we find a way to motivate each other, to balance each other out every step of the way when there are challenges, to share the fun moments. I mean, there's that constant interaction, which is great.
Of course.
Also, we can push each other in certain ways,
Yes.
and it's just a little easier and better received.
Yeah.
So it keeps the practice tight and fresh at all times.
Yeah, fresh for sure. I mean, that communication really
Very
keeps
important,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
totally. So everybody would love to know a little on how did you get your first job, your first project?
That's actually a super interesting story. Yeah, we were still in
It
college,
really is.
actually.
Okay.
I was writing my thesis in my final year.
Yeah. And, it's one of those stories about being at the right place at the right time and saying the right thing. So it was just a casual dinner at a dear friend's house. And I was chatting with a friend of theirs who's a photographer. He's
Mhm.
Subi Samuel. And he was like, "So what are you doing?" I said, "I'm giving my final exam now." He's saying, "And what plans do you have after that?" So I said, "See, I don't know." And I was talking to him very candidly. It was not a prepared pitch or a speech, right? So I'm telling him, I said, "I don't know, but there's one thing I know. I've heard horror stories about working for people in their offices. I've heard that you have to only sharpen pencils, and I'm not ready to do that. So I'm getting out and I'm starting on my own."
Oh,
I just said this to him at the spur of the moment. And he said, "Okay, Monday morning, meet me at my studio." And that was our first project.
oh,
And,
okay.
then that led to so many other wonderful things. Our first larger project, Sonali shot at his studio, and she left the
Okay.
studio about, I think, a month later,
Ah,
and
that's
said, "Who
Sonali
are these
Bainbridge.
people
Yeah.
who've done this? I want them to do my house."
Yeah.
And then it just took off from there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and the rest is
awesome.
literally history. One thing led to the other. I don't think we've ever really tried to, at that stage, very early in our career, tried to market ourselves, because it was literally one thing led to another, led to
Very
Your
another.
work
organic
did
sort
the
of growth.
talking
It did
for
the
y'all.
talking.
That's
And
what.
God
That
bless,
is the most important
It
thing.
was
Having said all this, we did stop at some point. We moved to New York. I got my master's, and Vishakha and I both worked in other offices
yes.
for 5 years,
Mhm.
which was also very, very instrumental in our growth.
Okay,
and
of
just
course, the exposure.
systematization, exposure, the way they do things there was very helpful.
So y'all are working with an architectural
Yes,
firm.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
if I may
Yeah.
ask, which
Yeah,
one?
I
was-
worked with SOM in New York and Chicago.
Okay.
Vishakha worked with.
I worked with a studio called MAD, MAD,
Okay.
and we did some really cool stores, which is not what we do here. We do more of residential work, but we did the Jimmy Choo on Madison Avenue in New York,
Wow.
and fun stuff. It was a
I'm
great
sure.
studio.
I'm sure. I mean, everything there is very different.
Different, yes.
I
There's
mean,
a lot to
getting-
learn and a lot to grow. They're very organized, very systematized. They do things in a very orderly way, and it really helped us when we came back and restarted the practice, because we could
I'm
suddenly
sure.
do the same thing in a slightly better way.
I'm sure it definitely, because your mind is attuned to that kind of a
Yes.
systems,
Yes.
a system way of working, and you just want to try your best. And being
Yeah.
in India,
Yeah.
you can't go 100% as the
Absolutely.
Western countries.
Absolutely. And you shouldn't.
Yeah,
You have to work with
because
our
we have
cultural
to-
needs.
Exactly.
Yes.
We are just a call away from
Yeah.
our clients.
Yes.
Or a WhatsApp messages.
Yeah, totally. Forever active.
So many crazy stories. Like you said, we are a call away. So my first project was this Jimmy Choo store, and there it's very clear. Like the contractor does the building work, the contractor does his work, the architect does his work. Here it's a very blurred line.
Yeah.
If I have to, I'll be painting the wall also. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And there, so I used to be going for my weekly visits and meeting the contractor and saying, okay, this. The next week it was done. So the team from London, the Jimmy Choo team would come and their main head would be interacting with me. And finally they said, okay, hand over. We want to have a little, party and everything. And I said, okay, so I'll tell Tom, who was my boss. And she said, Tom, who's Tom? So I said, okay, because, it was just so effortlessly executed that the head of the team didn't even have to show up to site. And
Wow.
here it's the exact opposite. Like every day we'll be
We were just
on
discussing
5 phone calls,
that the three of us, at least, we live on our projects all the time.
But imagine that.
Really. Wow, that is so good now. I mean, that also shows that, they follow
Systems are
the
in place.
systems. Yeah, they follow it.
Follow the systems. This Italian guy flew down with the stair from Italy to install the stair in the
Imagine
New
that.
York store, who didn't speak a word of English, by the way. And in a week, they assembled the whole thing and went back.
Sometimes we really feel, oh my God, this is how it should be. And when we start functioning here, after a day or two, we're like, nahi yaar, yahi theek hai.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yahan pe yahi theek hai.
actually, there's a
You know?
cultural engagement. There's a
Yes.
joy in this sort of doing things this way as well.
Correct. So coming to the next questions, what are you working on now?
I am, Vishakha runs her own projects in the office. I run my own projects in the office. I am working on a few very beautiful apartments. The core of our work is residential, apartments, bungalows, villas, farmhouses, what they call holiday homes. And I have these really interesting holiday homes as well. One, especially in Kamshed, beautiful plot of land, 4 acres down the side of a hill, touching the lake on one side and the mountain on one side. I'm most excited about that. It's going to be really
Lovely.
gorgeous.
Wishing you all the best.
Thank
and
you.
I really want to at least see pictures of it.
100%.
No, why? We'll yeah. Hopefully.
No, I'm sure I can imagine how it must be already,
It's really interesting. It's very conceptually worked out, and it'll be really nice.
Yeah, please
We're
do
really
share
psyched
those
about it.
pictures with us. We would love to have them on our Acetech page also.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
It'll be amazing.
What are you working on?
So a lot of exciting projects amongst the residential in the upcoming year. Apart from the typical ones, we're doing. It's like almost a bungalow in the sky because it's 4 floors at 4 seasons for a
Oh.
single family.
The one in
Yes.
Mahalakshmi, Lower
Yes,
Parel.
Lower
Yeah.
Parel. So we're doing 4 floors for a family. So it's like a villa in the sky.
Yeah.
So that's great. We're doing a resort. It's like a Greek style resort. And it's it's developing in a very interesting way because we're doing a villa at a time
Okay.
and then we're doing a restaurant there. So
And where is this?
this is in
Near Karjat.
near Karjat.
So tell me, how do you commute? Like, I mean, how does everything work? Is it easy to do these kind of projects, which are like these holiday homes? The one in the mountains now. I mean, I'm sure it's like the
Yes.
most tedious thing to do.
It is. It's
a
hard.
lot.
So here's really where we practiced before we went abroad and after, and we saw that
Yeah.
difference. Earlier it was a nightmare, and now things, even though engaging with culture and being very organic about things, we are able to manage these things a lot easier. The systems are in place. We have very good contractors. Our team is very efficient in managing these things. Site visits are scheduled. Drawings are done correctly. So I won't say it goes seamlessly. We all know there are going to be ups and downs, yes, but in a manageable way and an enjoyable way.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you guys are like, since y'all are, y'all have been exposed to the system-oriented
Yes.
lifestyle abroad. You definitely have all that. But then, of course, when it comes to, getting work done, and in these small towns, the weather changes, the mood
Fresh.
changes, the
No,
bus.
there are lots of challenges.
Fresh set of challenges altogether.
It's a lot, but I'm amazed that how you guys. I can imagine, like by talking to you all, I can imagine your project, how beautiful it must be. Really,
You'll see it soon.
You will, yeah,
I'm
for
looking
sure.
forward. Even see, cities are easier to work, I think, but
For sure.
getting people, the contractors, dealing with them in their language, communication. It's the festivals for
Yes.
them are the most
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
So getting work out of them on certain days is really tough. Whereas, being in the city life, I'm
Much
sure,
easier.
everyone
Yeah,
understands
doing
how
projects
to.
out of Bombay has its own challenge. it. Like you have to deal with
So do
the
this
local labor. You have to buy some local material to, make everything work in harmony.
correct?
You have to balance out a lot of agencies.
Of course.
But then, you learn, you
So-
figure out the ways and
So do you all actually, add that timeline for, handing over a project, or your normal handover time is what it takes? With
Well,
these,
we've done enough of this now to know what these challenges will add to the schedule and cost. So it's pretty tight now. After all these years, yes.
system
We're
loading.
able to give
we
realistic
keep,
commitments.
we keep using that magic word, systematization. We have to drill that into
Yeah.
everybody's head, because at the end, everybody benefits from that.
Correct. And they
So-
realize late, but as long as they
Yes.
realize. So, any particular architect or artist whom you really admire?
Architect.
Yeah, for me, it's Frank Lloyd Wright. I think over the years, from the time I studied about him in college to now, and we actually went to Falling Water, which is literally a house built on top of a waterfall,
Okay.
and it is magical. And I can't get that out of my head. For the longest time, I wanted to just sort of not really copy, but build something that brings out that same emotion. It was beautiful.
What about you?
For me, it's Oscar Niemeyer. The most amazing, beautiful, organic, free-flowing, intuitive work, and visually beautiful. But more importantly, when you experience the work, you feel the flow and you feel the energy of the space
Of course.
more than anything else. So it's not just about visual use of materials and philosophy. It's an actual experience, and then that's something that inspires me all the time.
Lovely, lovely. I'm sure. So all your projects are, there's something from your inspiration in
For sure,
every
always.
project of yours.
It's nice. Like, I know that all architects, I mean, you have to have your own style. We like to, fortunately for us, our clients always say this, that we go to houses that we see that you have done, but there's always that little something different.
Correct.
And we draw a lot of that by interacting with the people for whom we build a house.
Yeah, also.
And I feel that really adds value. So we enjoy that interaction, and we always bring something to the table, into their home, through that interaction.
And we always have these funky, crazy, eccentric
Yeah.
clients, and
I
we
mean,
really
feel
appreciate it because
attractive.
it makes us grow as
Yeah,
well.
of
It's
course.
great. So we
lovely.
love that interaction.
So tell me something about Acetech, Muninder. What do you have to say for Acetech? Next is your turn.
I thought
Acetech in general is, I mean, you guys you created this,
Yes.
this whole concept. Everybody else is just following, and you do it the best at the scale you do it. I mean, there's nothing more to be said and less to be said, and you do it the most professionally. So we
Thank
look
you.
forward to that event and what we're doing, Design Conclave as well, every year. And no matter what it is, we make sure that we carved out the time for it. And if your team doesn't chase us, we chase them.
Oh,
When is
that's
this
so
happening?
kind of you.
Because
Thank
we
you.
must be there. So nothing but good things. We're always impressed. It's getting better every year, and you guys do a great job.
Thank you. You
Yes.
have
I
anything
mean,
to
apart from what he's saying, I think the important, I'm just going to elaborate on the fact that the scale of it is a lot, is really huge. And even so, it's managed so well. You guys have a lot of people who are looking into everything and everyone personally.
Starting
And,
with them.
making
Yeah.
sure, starting with you, it comes from you. And making sure that time is not wasted.
Yeah.
What do you want to see? We'll direct you there. Not that just go and find your way around. So I think that's very important, because sometimes when these exhibitions are large and you have a limited amount of time, you need that help and
Correct.
direction. So I love that there's always somebody who's catering to that, and that little detail adds a lot of value.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your kind words and always supporting Acetech. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. So thank you for your time, Vishakha and Muninder. Really, really had a lovely, lovely time, chatting up with you all, and I hope you all enjoyed it
Yeah.
too.
A great time. Thank you. I'm glad this happened.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you everyone for watching. We shall see you in the next episode.